Welcome back, students. Now, if you remember, in our previous video, we have done internal defense, that is second line of defense, in which we had covered cellular and physiological barriers. Now, cellular barriers include NK cells, macrophages, and leukocytes, while physiological barriers include inflammatory reaction, fever, interferons, complement system, etc. I will quickly go through these physiological barriers once again. Matter of fact, now the physical barriers have got four types as shown. Inflammatory reaction, that is here, inflammatory reaction number one. Then is the fever, number two, interferons, and then lastly the complementary complement system. So the four types. Now, what is inflammatory response or inflammatory reaction? Inflammatory response is a reaction that causes redness. Inflammatory reaction, if you see number one, that is the number one. Inflammatory reaction causes redness, redness. Then maybe that area is slightly is heated up. Heat is we find. Then there may be swelling around that area. There may be swelling, followed by pain in the area of infection where infection has taken place. Pain in the area of infection. So these are the things which we find in case of inflammatory response. Now this response is localized to area of infection or where tissue injury has taken place. So what happens really, that's localized to this area of infection or tissue injury, as I've told you. Now it is by release of substances from microorganisms or chemicals. Chemicals are also called chemical mediators, released from cells in tissues. So these cells around, they release a chemical which is called histamine. This histamine is released from mast cells. Histamines from mast cells, and once these invaders or organisms are destroyed, inflammation settles down. So you must find that once that area is taken care of, redness goes away, swelling is also decreases, and after some time, pain is subdued. So once the this inflammation is controlled, so this is how the whole mechanism takes place. This is called inflammatory response. Second is fever. Fever is also one of the responses. It is always, I mean, it's often the result of infection and released by release of chemicals. These chemicals are called pyrogens. Pyrogens. So these pyrogens are released from damaged tissue and the cells involved in inflammation. So where cells are, the cells around, uh, uh, from there the pyrogens or these chemicals are released. Third is called interferons. Now, in the third type, that is interferons. Now, what are interferons? Interferons are glycoproteins. Interferons are glycoproteins released by living cell in response to viral attack. And important thing here is that, let us say a cell has got some damaged place over here. Let us say this cell is damaged one. This cell is damaged one, and there may be cells around this cell also. Number of cells around this cell, or few cells are maybe damaged, and then number of cells around. So we'll just, for the sake of convenience, we just have a very small example. So once this in response to viral attack, these interferons are released. So they make the surrounding cells resistant to viral infection by inhibiting multiplication of viral particles. The viral particles which are responsible for this particular attack. Now these interferons, they somehow don't let these viral particles move towards the other cells. So this is how it is stopped. So these interferons basically are are stopping the multiplication of viral particle. They are divided into three groups based on the based on cell of origin. Namely, they may be the leukocytes. Then there may be fibroblasts. number 2, or the third one is the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes. Now the first one, that is leukocyte, is alpha interferons. Then the fibroblasts, beta interferons, and thirdly the lymphocytes are the uh, gamma interferons, right? uh, Alpha interferons, the, the proteins are produced by, as we have said, by leukocytes, mainly involved in the innate immune response against viral infection. 13 subtypes have been identified. uh, in fact, the genes uh, responsible for the production come in 13 subtypes, like IFNA1, IFNA2, and so on. These genes are found together in a cluster on chromosome number 9. Then comes interferon beta. In fact, interferon alpha is also made synthetically as medication in hairy cell leukemia. Then comes interferon beta, as we have studied already, that produced in large quantities by fibroblasts. They have again antiviral activity, and the two types of interferon beta have been described, that is beta 1 and beta 3. uh, in fact, IFN beta 1 is not an appropriate treatment for patients with progressive non-relapsing forms of multiple sclerosis. Then there are interferon omega, interferon, and many other types also. So, and then another one is the gamma interferon, which is synthesized by lymphocytes. Students, you know that a fibroblast is a type of cell that synthesizes the extracellular matrix and collagen, the structural framework for animal tissues, and plays a critical role in, of course, as we are studying now, wound healing. They are the most common cells of connective tissue in animals. And as far as lymphocyte is concerned, as you are aware of, a lymphocyte is one of the subtypes of white blood cells in a vertebrate's immune system. Lymphocytes include natural killer cells, NK cells, T cells, then B cells. So they are the main types of cells found in lymph tissue as such. Then comes the complement system. Now, complement system is a biochemical cascade consisting of 30 different serum proteins. So it is a defensive system consisting of plasma proteins that attack and destroy the microbes. Now it participates both in innate and acquired immunities. So here two mechanisms have been seen. It is of two types, you can say, complement system. Now one, the classical pathway, which is seen in acquired immunity. Now acquired immunity is which becomes active when this pathway becomes active, when we find the antigen antibody complex. So when there is antigen, as we have already studied, antigen antibody complex is formed when antigen attacking from outside. So once this complex is formed, antigen antibody complex, then we find the first classical pathway comes into action, into play. The second alternate pathway I mean, of course, the alternate pathway, also called Properdin system. It is seen in case of innate immunity, which we shall be studying very soon. So innate immunity. Uh, Now the alternative pathway gets activated directly by the presence of bacterial endotoxins. Once the bacterial endotoxins are released, so after the attack, bacterial endotoxins are released. We have already studied two types of toxins, exotoxins and endotoxins, in our previous lectures. So when these bacterial endotoxins are released or are present, so then the second pathway, that is the alternative pathway, may come into action. So this is in journal the complement system. Uh, this complement triggers the immune functions, namely by phagocytosis, secondly by inflammation, and thirdly by membrane attack. In phagocytosis, by having opsonizing antigens. Here we find that C3b is seen to have most important opsonizing activity. Then inflammation by attracting macrophages and neutrophils, and thirdly by membrane attack by rupturing membranes of the foreign cells. Now, what is an opsonin? In fact, opsonin has been derived from the Greek word which means prepare for eating. So an opsonin is any molecule that enhances phagocytosis by making an antigen for an immune response, or making or marking dead cells for recycling. Uh, in fact, opson in Greek is referred to as a delicious side dish or of any meal. Anyway, so this is what is all about the complement system. With this, we finish this part of our video. In our next part, now we shall be starting with the other types of immunities. Thank you.